So hi, 2008 was a game called OVERDRIVE. It was essentially a NASCAR type game of just constantly driving around a circuit around the field. Speed was the ultimate thing. How many times can you drive around in Auton? How many times can you drive around in Teleop? But we were also manipulating a very large, like a yoga ball, that had to be knocked off of a rack to begin with, way over our heads. We drove under the underpass and had to knock the ball off. We actually came up with a pretty clever way of doing that. For the first couple of iterations, we kept trying to reach over the rack and knock the ball off. And then we realized that because of the curvature of the ball, just a little bit of it stuck out underneath the rack it was sitting on that we were driving under. And if we put a bar up that was just underneath the rack, we could clip the bottom of the ball and knock it off.
Yeah, that's great.
And that worked really, really well. But we also discovered that there was an incredible need to make a very tight turn once each half turn. We would go down the straightaway, make a 180-degree turn at the end of the field, back up the other side. And I think you should take the honors of explaining the Irvin Memorial turning robot.
Well, again, from our very first season, we learned about an Auton move where a robot turned up the ramp by dropping a wheel and had very simple Auton. And so we used that same sort of methodology with the kids, and we designed a mechanism where wheels would drop down and the wheels were already turning to the left at 45 degrees. Those wheels would have the robot turn at the end of the corner, and we used a gyro to tell us just about when we were 90 or 88 degrees, and then they would pull the wheels up, the robot would straighten out and just tear down the straight. It was wicked fast, wicked fun. The kids loved this game. We used a part of aluminum ladder and surgical tubing to make this giant catapult, and we could throw this giant ball out of the field if we really wanted to, and did several times.
Yeah, we didn't really want to, but we did it anyway.
Yes.
I think one of the things that was particularly challenging for this was the autonomous, because the number of loops you could do in the 30 seconds of autonomous period was worth a lot of points.
Right.
And so we actually got to the point where we could make 2 complete circuits of the racetrack in autonomous, provided nobody got in our way.
Right.
And so we were somewhat concerned about that, but we ended up just saying, hey, if they get in the way, we're just not going to quite make it. If we get lucky and nobody's in the way, we're going to make 2 complete circuits, and that's worth a lot of points.
Yeah, it was a really great game. Kids were great.
But it was a very successful, clever, simple design to make this important turn, and the net result is that we could do it very reliably and very quickly.
I think our biggest struggle that year was actually trying to pick the ball up on the field. Yeah. Until we figured out these power rollers that we would put down like goalposts, and they were driven, and that would pull the ball right up onto the shooter. But before that, we struggled a little bit at some of the regional events because we had trouble getting the ball back into the shooter.
Yeah, we could dump it off. We could do the racetrack, but picking the ball up was a challenge for us.
Right.